Today I'm going to be reviewing six mid-range luxury bags, all new into my collection. I have gone out and bought these bags, so you don't have to. I can review them first, so you can watch this video and figure out which bag might be right for you. We are starting off strong with the first bag. This is from a brand new brand to me, a brand I recently discovered and fell in love with. Their name is Beracamy. They were founded in Paris in 2009 by three women, three fashion and design graduates. They are now based out of London and they make so many really cool, interesting bags, very unique designs, but very classic, minimal colors and shapes as well. The name is Beracamy, did I say that? This is their Origami Shapeshifter bucket bag. This can be worn in a multitude of different ways, so I'm going to show you all the different ways you can style this bag in the cutaways. But first off, we have to talk about the leather used on this bag, because I could smell the leather on this bag through the box when it arrived to my house. It has the most gorgeous leather smell to it, and the feel of the leather, by far out of all the bags I'm going to talk about today, it is the softest, the most buttery leather. It very much reminds me, it's very reminiscent of the leather used on my old Celine bag that I used to own, that I did recently sell. It has that very, very similar feel to it. So if you're looking for a very luxurious leather, it's a fine grain calf leather that feels so soft and buttery to the touch, then this is the bag I would recommend for that. It's a gorgeous classic tan brown. You cannot go wrong, but it does come in 4 neutral shades. So whatever color you prefer, whether you're more of a black bag person or a brown, or they have like a wheat color. So talking you through the bag, first of all, it has a couple of straps. It does have this strap, but it also comes with another strap, which I will show you in a second, a shorter strap depending on how you want to wear it. It also comes with an attached pouch in the gorgeous buttery leather, exactly the same as the main bag. And this is perfect if you are carrying a bucket style bag. I find that they aren't the most secure sometimes, although I have to admit that this one is quite secure in comparison to a lot of other bucket bag styles I've tried, because it does have the popper buttons. I will show you in the cutaways, but you can pop it closed, if you hear that. So it does feel quite secure, but it is nice to have that pouch as an additional layer of security. You can keep all your valuables in that, and it is physically attached to the bag. You can of course remove this. You can just take this off, use it separately as a little wallet, or if you're traveling you might want to use this. And if you don't need it in the bag, you can just take it out, but it's a nice extra to have. The branding on this bag is very subtle, quite minimal. It just has the Beracamy in gold foil embossed here, and then it also has very subtly, I didn't notice it at first, but it does have on the gold hardware here this very subtle B logo, and then even on the loop hardware here, this little D-ring, it has Beracamy stamped, embossed into the metal itself. I always look for that when I'm looking at bags, because I find if it's a more expensive or a more luxurious feeling bag, they will use branded hardware like this rather than just generic hardware. And it's definitely a sign that a brand goes above and beyond and really cares about their quality. The inside of this bag is lined in suede leather, so it feels very nice, very luxurious even on the inside. And it also comes with these detachable poppers. So depending on how you're carrying the bag, you may have these little poppers exposed. And if you do, you can actually add these covers to them, just to make it look really sleek and really beautiful, which I really like. It's, again, another attention to design and detail that you might not find at other brands, so I was really impressed with that as well. It is quite a soft leather, but because of the shape of it and because of the different ways you can conform it, it can feel like quite a structured bag at the same time. It's a nice hybrid between that slightly soft, slouchy feel, slightly more relaxed, again because it's a bucket bag, but also because it can be molded to different shapes, you can make it feel a little bit more formal and a little bit more structured as well, which I love. I love the versatility from this bag, and I love the contrast stitching. I always am a sucker for contrast white stitching on any bag, and the stitching itself, which I always look for, looks incredibly neat. No sloppy stitching here. It is all absolutely immaculate, perfect. There is not a stitch out of place. The glazing looks really beautiful and really neat along the edges as well. I cannot say enough good things about this bag. I'm so impressed. And this bag is around the £300 mark, so it is so much more affordable than the Celine bag that it reminds me of, but still very high quality and luxurious. I should mention, if you want to check out any of the bags in today's video, they will all be linked in order of appearance in the description box down below. So if you would like to check out the Beracamy Beracamy Shapeshifter Bucket Bag, or any of their other styles. A lot of their other styles are similar. They use the same beautiful soft leather, and they also have versatility in how you can wear and style them. So if you like that within your bags, if you're looking for a little bit of a workhorse bag that can do a little bit of everything for you, that can mold to different occasions and different outfits, then I would highly recommend checking out Beracamy. In at number 2 on the list, we have the A.P.C Grace bag in pink, and I feel like I've been promising a review of this bag for months now. I mean, I feel like that because I have been promising it for 2 months now. Since I purchased this back in January, I ummed and ahed over this bag for a long time because I was quite reluctant to spend the price tag on it. It was probably the most expensive bag in this video, yes it was, but I have to say I haven't regretted it since. It's a gorgeous bag, very classic crossbody messenger style, and I just absolutely love the colour of this bag. I find it so fun. I love the pop of pink that it brings to any outfit. I will say the only negative I will say about this bag, well, there's a couple maybe, but the primary thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit is the colours are different on the website to how they appear in person. On the website, this was definitely a softer, slightly lighter pink, a little bit more muted, and in person, it's a little bit more vivid and bright. It's still not a bright pink, it's not a fuchsia, but it's just slightly different, and that is one of my bugbears about colours when brands don't get it exactly right, especially if they are only available online. I mean, you probably can buy A.P.C in person, but nowhere near me, so I was trusting the pictures. But other than that, I still really love the colour, luckily. Other than that, it is a beautiful bag. I've had this, as I said, for 2 months now, and I can't see a single scratch on it. I've used it a few times. I haven't used it hundreds of times, obviously, so it remains to be seen how it will wear long term. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the leather. It's definitely a hard structured bag. If I compare it to the Beracamy, they are worlds apart in terms of the leather. This is soft, it is slightly squidgy, it doesn't feel like it's going to scratch easily though, but it has that kind of, I don't know, I really like the feel of this, whereas this is a lot more hard, it's rigid, it's structured, it isn't as malleable. So inevitably, because of the shape of this bag, you aren't going to be able to fit in a huge amount of stuff in this bag because it's not massive to begin with, and then on top of that it's quite rigid, so it doesn't mold, it doesn't bend, it doesn't really expand. So that is something to bear in mind. This is a bag that fits in your essentials but nothing more, which is totally fine for me on most occasions, and I do have other bags that I can wear if I need to carry more. So it's not a deal breaker for me personally, but it may be for you if you're only going to buy 1 or 2 bags and this needs to work for you every day. The branding on this bag is very similar to the Beracamy. It is just the logo, the name of the brand A.P.C, in gold, embossed in gold on the bottom of the bag, and then I don't think it's anywhere else. You just have a tiny A.P.C little leather tab on the inside, but other than that, it is completely brandless. Is it on the hardware? No, it's not on the hardware that I can tell. So I would have liked to see a little A.P.C just because I do feel like that makes the bag feel more expensive. But nevertheless, it does feel very high quality. I will say though, it is the most expensive bag in this video, and I don't know if I was only going to buy 1 bag, I don't know if I would want to spend this much when there are so many other good alternatives that are probably about half the price of this. I did get this on sale, but it was still over £500, whereas most of the other bags I'm showing are in the £200 to £300 mark. So I will say that I do think it is quite expensive for what it is, but then if you're comparing it to Celine, which is obviously slightly inspired by, it is a fraction of the price. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. They do have some gorgeous colours. I do think that A.P.C do colour incredibly well. If you're looking for a pop of colour, you don't want a neutral bag, then I would check out A.P.C because in all of their styles, they offer some gorgeous, really unique, brilliant shades. And yeah, there were so many. It was honestly hard to pick the pink because there was a yellow one, there was a burgundy, a green, a blue, like an orangey, cinnamon colour, so many gorgeous options. Moving on to the 3rd bag in this video, and I've actually made a whole separate dedicated video on this bag. If you're interested, I will leave it linked in the cards and down below, but in case you didn't see that, I will give you a quick recap of how I've been finding this bag now I've had it for a month or 2. This is the, I forget the name of this bag, but it's from Ateliers Auguste, and it is a beautiful warm-toned taupe colour. I love the colour that Ateliers Auguste do. This particular really beautiful light brown taupey colour, toffee. It's almost like a coffee, like a milky coffee colour. It's really beautiful. This has the gold hardware and the gold chain strap, so it's something a little bit different. It's the only bag in this video with a chain strap and one of the only bags in my collection with a chain strap, so it does feel a little bit dressier than some of my other bags. It's also one of the smaller bags. This is more of an east-west style in comparison to the A.P.C. So you can see it is slightly longer than the A.P.C, not as square, it's more of an east-west style, but you can probably fit a similar amount of stuff in this compared to the A.P.C, to be honest, because it is a little bit wider depth-wise as well. So you can, I would say you can actually probably put a little bit more in this than the A.P.C. In terms of the hardware, this is gold plated. I think this might be the only bag that has gold plated hardware. So that's something to note if that's important to you. It is really lovely, high quality hardware. The clasp itself is a little tricky to open. I will say it's not as easy as the A.P.C. You have to push down on this bottom bit here and then lift up, which does take a couple of seconds to get used to, but it does make it a little bit more secure maybe if you are living in a big city. I just have the dust bag in there at the moment, and then I will show you the inside. It's a nice roomy bag and it's got a big slip pocket here, which is quite nice, but other than that, no compartments or dividers, which again, a bag of this size, I like that because I don't want any of the room taken up by unnecessary pieces of leather. I just feel like it's a little bit unnecessary when it's a small bag, so I do think it's the right design choice for this. The branding on this bag is even subtler than the first two because it is under the flap, so again it's in gold. Embossed here, it says Ateliers Auguste Le Marais Paris, and it is under the flap, so you're only going to see it if the bag is open. And then it does have branded hardware, so something I really like is all of the hardware. The main clasp itself has Atelier Auguste here, and then all of the D-rings as well have it embossed into the metal. I'm not sure that's the right word, but you know what I mean. It's in the metal, so it really is like substantial, high quality feeling hardware, branded hardware, which makes it feel more luxurious as well. In at number 4, we have a new bag, but a quite familiar bag. If you've seen my bag collection or any of my videos, you may feel that this looks quite similar to a bag I already own, and you would be right. So this is the Le Petit Apollon bag by Maison Rinceau. I probably am butchering that name, but it is basically the Basile Paris bag reinvented and rebranded. So the brand has gone through a rebrand, a reinvention, a reinvigoration, and they have updated some of their styles because of that. And this is the new version of the Le Petit Apollon that I already own. So I wanted to talk to you about this because if you're on the fence about this brand and this bag, then I want to show you the updates they've made to this bag, the improvements they've made to this bag, and whether I would still recommend it, because you guys know I love the original version. So I wanted to see whether I liked this one as much. So the first obvious thing that I noticed when I unboxed this bag is that this bag has been made to be a little bit more spacious by just changing the design slightly. So you'll be able to tell if you compare the bags side by side that the design on the outside is actually changed slightly, so that the inside, the bag itself has stayed the same size, but the inside is more capacious, which I really like. I always like it when you can just fit a little bit more in a bag. It makes it a little bit more usable, a little bit more practical for day to day. Just taking out the stuffing, as this is a brand new bag to me. This is something that just came in a few days ago. So I can definitely tell that the bag feels a little bit more roomy on the edges. You're going to be able to fit slightly wider things in this bag compared to the previous iteration, but it doesn't change the actual size of the bag. So the bag itself is still a really nice everyday top handle size, but it just is a little bit more practical. So that gets a big thumbs up from me. The second thing they've done is reinforce the top handle to prevent it from bending out of shape. So it just feels a little bit more structured and a little bit more sturdy now, which is great as well. The other change I noticed is with the clasp. So the clasp itself looks the same from the outside. You wouldn't be able to tell just from looking at it, but they've actually changed it from a pull down clasp to a magnet, which makes it a lot easier to get in and out of. It prevents that scratching that can often happen around the clasp, when you have something that's a little bit fiddly to maneuver. So because this is now just a magnet, it's really easy to grab. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to catch your nail trying to get it open. So it is very easy to open and close, and it does have security in it. So even if it is slightly easier to open, it has a zipped pouch within it, which is quite hard to find in a bag. I mean, I think it's the only bag, other than the Beracamy, which comes with a zipped pouch that's attached, it's the only bag that has that form of zip closure. So I do quite appreciate that. So you can put your phone in this middle compartment and zip it up. So you know, your wallet, your keys, things like that you really care about keeping safe, so you know they're not going to get stolen or lost or anything like that. And then the final change I've noticed is that the inside is now lined in a micro suede. Previously it was lined in a cotton canvas, I think. Yeah, so the material on the inside feels more luxurious. It feels a little bit higher quality. It just feels like it's a little bit more premium than the previous iteration. So overall, the changes are subtle but noticeable. They do impact the day-to-day use of this bag for the better, I would say. I should mention this also comes with a long strap. And the final thing I'll say is the hardware on these little clips is branded. So again, that's something I look for, as I've mentioned, and it is there. So overall, the quality of this feels impeccable. It was really good to begin with. It is even better now. So I recommended it in the first iteration, and I would recommend it even more in this second iteration. I do really appreciate that the brand has gone in and just kind of improved it slightly. It's very subtle. It's things that you may not notice on first glance, but actually when you're using the bag, when you're loving the bag and you're getting a lot of wear out of it, they do add up to feel quite important and just improve the overall usage and versatility of the bag. Oh, we are getting to the end of the video. I have two more bags to talk to you about. The next bag is the Justine basket from Sézane. This was a purchase I kind of broke one of my rules when making, if I think about it. I'm only just realizing this now, but I think I did say originally that I wasn't going to buy any Sézane bags this year, and then I've gone ahead and bought this basket bag, and I knew as soon as I saw this that I was going to purchase it because I just love the flowers. You guys know how much I love pink, and so when I saw this pink embroidery, I just fell in love. And I've always liked the Justine, but I've always thought that the plain version wasn't worth the money because it does just look like a plain raffia tote that you can get a lot more inexpensively at a lot of other places, whereas I liked the embroidered versions, but I didn't like the white embroidered one enough to purchase it, whereas the pink was right up my street. So I did go ahead and buy this, and honestly, I don't regret it at all. Pros of this bag are it does feel really nice quality for the price point. It is expensive for a raffia bag on one end, but also not too expensive on the other when you compare it to Loewe basket bags, when you compare it to other brands. It's like a nice mid-range. And I do think because of the embroidery, it does feel worth the money to me. I just think it makes it a little bit more special. It's different, it's unique, it's very beautiful. It has the leather details on it, so it doesn't just have a raffia strap, which a lot of basket bags do. It actually does have the leather handles, which makes it feel a little bit more premium and high quality as well. The inside of this bag it does have a attached little cotton canvas pouch. I kind of wish you could take this out just to have the option of taking it out, but it is sewn into the bottom of the bag, so you can't remove it. It is useful to carry your things in because obviously it is a completely open bag. There's no magnetic closure on this bag, but you can do up this bag. It's like a drawstring, so you can keep that quite nice and tight and closed to protect some of your pieces. But I just wish you could, maybe if it had like popper buttons and you could take it in and out, even just for like cleaning it, or I don't know, just for in case you didn't want it in there. I feel like it would be quite nice. Maybe if you wanted the bag to be a little bit bigger capacity wise, it might be useful to take that out occasionally. It is quite a minor thing though, I'm nitpicking here. The embroidery is not on the back, but, you know, initially I was like, I think that's a little bit cheap. I wish they'd put the embroidery on the back as well. But one advantage to that is that you can wear it with the embroidery facing your body to get a plainer look. Because sometimes, as much as I love the pink flowers, like I'm wearing a blue floral dress today, and I would definitely wear this with this dress, but I do think that maybe the plain looks better because there's already so much going on with my dress. So in that case, I could just wear it like this and you get a plainer look. So I do actually quite like the fact that the embroidery is only on one side, so I will take that back. Initially I said I was disappointed with that, but actually I can kind of, I mean, I think they've done it to cut costs, to cut corners. I don't think they've done it to make it versatile, but I do quite like the byproduct of the fact that it is a little bit more versatile because of that. The only other con of this bag I would say is that the long strap, so it does come with a shoulder strap, which I do think is nice because sometimes you know, as lovely as a top handle is, sometimes you do just want to sling a bag over your shoulder. However, it's not that easy to do with this bag because these top straps are quite tall. They kind of get in the way, even when you've got, can you see, even when I've got it on my shoulder, these top straps are kind of sitting up and you can kind of bend them down, but not really. So I honestly don't know how often I will use these shoulder straps. I feel like I won't really use them unless I really need to, because it's just not very comfortable to carry it like that. And most of the time I will just carry it like a top handle or put it in the crook of my arm. The other thing about these straps is that they're not removable. I wish they'd made these detachable so I could have the option of taking them off, because as I said, I don't think I'm going to use them that often. And I like the idea of having them for when I really need them, but I don't really want them on there all the time, but there's no way to take them off. And they do kind of look, you can still kind of see them, even when you tuck them into the bag. I mean, obviously they kind of take up some of the space within the bag, but also they kind of look a little bit messy. If you leave them out or if you tuck them in, you can still see the edges of them. So overall, I wish they'd gone the extra mile and just made these detachable. I feel like if these were detachable, this would be an excellent bag. But because of this, it's a good bag. I like it. The design is beautiful. The embroidery is gorgeous. But there's just a few tweaking points that I would have made personally to make this a really excellent bag. And last but not least, we have this beauty. This is a Dragon Diffusion. I can't remember the style name of this, so I will leave it on screen, but it's like a mini little top handle basket bag. This was an impulse purchase for me. I was looking for a pink bag. This was actually before I bought the A.P.C bag, and I was looking at other alternatives to pink bags because, as I said, I was so reluctant to spend the money on the A.P.C bag because it was quite expensive. And I stumbled across this on a boutique's website for 70% off. It was in the clearance section of this random little boutique, which I think was based in, I don't know, they were based in like Hampshire or something like that, but I came across them online and this was on their website for about £70. This normally retails for about £300. So when I saw that it was pink, it was only £70 and it was from a brand that I've always wanted to try, Dragon Diffusion. I just bit the bullet and impulse bought it, and honestly I don't regret it because it's the sweetest little summer bag. It isn't the most practical, obviously. It is just a top handle bag and it's quite small. The other reason I was swayed to try this bag is because I think Helen has this bag in red, or a very, very similar style. It might be a slightly different style name, but it's basically the same little size Dragon Diffusion bag in a red. And she wears hers so much, she gets so much use out of it, and I know she says she loves it. So if Helen says she loves something, I know I'm gonna love it because I trust her opinion implicitly, to be honest. It came in its dust bag, which is actually, I'm just noticing now, a tote bag, so that's quite nice. You can use that as a separate tote bag. And yeah, it's very simple, like there's not much to say about this bag, but all of these Dragon Diffusion bags are handmade. And if you order them directly from the Dragon Diffusion website, they do take, I think, about 10 weeks to make because they are made to order. But because I bought this, obviously it was already made, it was sold to this boutique, then I got it straight away. It's 100% leather. They are made in India. It's obviously this woven leather, which I love. I love a woven leather bag. I have 4 woven leather bags now, I think, from different brands, and I love them all. On the inside, it isn't lined or anything, so it is basically just an open hole, and there is no closure either, so it's definitely not a very secure bag. This is a bag I would only carry in certain circumstances, a holiday bag, a little beach like evening bag if I was on a holiday going out for dinner or something like that. Or if I felt quite secure, maybe I was only carrying a few inexpensive things, then you do have to definitely be careful because it is literally just, you know, open with a top handle. It also has this St. Christopher little medallion that I think all of their bags have on the inside. I have added this little keychain. I'm not one for the bag charm trend, mostly because I feel like everyone is ordering these bag charms from Shein and Temu, and it just, they're Jane Birkifying their bags, but it's like the complete antithesis of what Jane Birkin would actually do, because she wouldn't be ordering them from Shein and Temu just to get the look. But anyway, I completely digress. But I do quite like this K charm that Sézane sent me. They sent me this randomly, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it's a really cute little charm, and I thought the red and pink, I love a red and pink combo. I thought it went quite nicely. It's got a little clover on it as well. Overall, it's a really sweet bag. Would I have spent £300 on it? Probably not. But am I very happy I got it for 70? Yes, I really love it. The colour is so fun. I'm trying to justify having 2 pink bags, but as you can see, they are quite different shades of pink. So I do feel, and because they're like completely different designs, they couldn't be more different from each other, really. I do feel like it's okay to have 2 pink bags. If I have any active discount codes with any of these brands, I will leave them in the description box, or if I can just find a generic discount code. For instance, I think with Ateliers Auguste you can get 5% off by signing up to their newsletter. Then I'll also leave those in the description box. I'll also leave links to all of the bags that I own in the colours and the styles and the sizes down below as well. So all the information will be there. It will also be in the pinned comment if that's easier for you as well. So make sure to check those out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting as always. If you're not done watching, I will leave a couple of videos you may like to watch next on screen. Otherwise, I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!